Hollywood is home to countless talented stars, but it also holds tragic stories of actors once adored, now serving time behind bars. Their tales are a mix of fame and downfall as they face the repercussions of the dark actions that rocked the industry. In today's video, we'll uncover 15 of the most infamous actors currently incarcerated, from household names to forgotten faces, and the luxurious properties they once owned, now slowly fading away. Can redemption be possible, or will they remain a permanent fixture in Hollywood's darker past? Let's dive into the story. If you're intrigued by the stories of these stars, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with more gripping tales. Do you think these actors can turn their lives around, or will they remain lost in the shadows? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Shannon Richardson was once a rising star, known for her roles in TV shows like The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries. Though her fame wasn't massive, she had started to gain attention in Hollywood. However, her career took a shocking turn in 2013 when she was arrested for sending poison-laced letters to President Barack Obama, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and others. Initially, Richardson claimed her ex-husband had framed her, but the evidence told a different story. Her fingerprints were found on the toxic letters, and computer activity pointed to her as the culprit. In 2014, she was sentenced to 18 years in prison and remains incarcerated today. Richardson's story serves as a harsh reminder that fame offers no protection from the consequences of criminal actions. Jeffrey Jones was once a beloved figure in iconic films like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Beetlejuice, known for his memorable, powerful, and humorous performances. With a career spanning decades, he became a standout actor in the 1980s and 1990s. However, his career took a devastating fall in 2002, when he was arrested for possession of child-related material. In 2003, Jones pled guilty and was sentenced to 5 years of probation, along with mandatory registration as a sex offender for life. Hollywood quickly turned its back on him, and the career he had carefully built was shattered in an instant. As of April 2025, Jones remains an outcast, a tragic example of how a single grave mistake can bring even the most established career to a swift and irreversible end. Stephen Collins spent decades building a respected career in Hollywood, known for roles that often embodied integrity and moral values. Born in 1947 in Des Moines, Iowa, he began his acting career at a young age, starting on stage before making his mark in television and film. His most defining role came as Reverend Eric Camden in Seventh Heaven, where he portrayed a model father, the moral backbone of his family and community. The show became a cultural symbol of family values in America. However, Collins' life took a dramatic turn when allegations of inappropriate behavior in his personal life emerged, shocking both the public and his colleagues. This scandal shattered the image he had spent years cultivating, forever altering his career and legacy. The wholesome image Stephen Collins had spent years cultivating came crashing down in 2014 when a leaked recording revealed him confessing to inappropriate sexual behavior with 3 teenage girls during the 1970s and 1990s. Although no criminal charges were filed due to the statute of limitations, the scandal caused Seventh Heaven to be pulled from the air, and Collins' career ended abruptly. Despite publicly apologizing and expressing regret, the revelations of abuse left his legacy in ruins. This scandal became an indelible part of the public's memory and was revisited in the 2025 documentary series Hollywood Demons, which shed light on the heartbreaking stories of victims like April Price. The image of Collins as a model father and symbol of morality is now a powerful reminder of how a single misdeed can devastate not just a career, but an entire life. Harvey Weinstein was once one of Hollywood's most influential producers, co-founding Miramax and the Weinstein Company. He was behind iconic films like Pulp Fiction, Shakespeare in Love, and The King's Speech, helping shape the entertainment industry. However, his career unraveled in 2017 when a wave of women came forward with accusations of harassment and sexual assault. While rumors had circulated for years, it wasn't until investigative articles in the New York Times and the New Yorker that over 80 women, including well-known actresses, were able to speak out. These revelations sparked the Not Me Too movement, triggering a global conversation about sexual abuse and the need for accountability. In 2020, Weinstein was sentenced to 23 years in prison in New York, and in 2022 he received another 16-year sentence in Los Angeles. As of April 2025, he remains incarcerated, serving nearly 40 years in total. Weinstein's downfall is now a powerful reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and fame, as well as the importance of courage in exposing wrongful actions. Joe Sun initially gained recognition for his comedic role in the 1990s film International Man of Mystery, where his portrayal of a quirky character with a shoe weapon captured the audience's attention. It seemed like a promising start for a comedy career. However, his path soon took a darker turn. Instead of building on this early success, Joe Sun became embroiled in controversy, which ultimately overshadowed his acting career. His story now serves as a cautionary tale, showing how quickly a promising future can crumble when wrongful actions are exposed, turning from potential fame to a permanent downfall. Joe Sun, born in South Korea in 1970 and raised in California, initially found a passion for martial arts and even created his own discipline, Jo San-do. After attempting a career in MMA and competing in UFC 4 in 1994, where he lost, he continued to explore opportunities in entertainment. However, his life took a tragic turn in 2008 when his DNA linked him to a violent gang-related case from 1990 while he was serving a probation violation. In 2011, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison, and by 2017, he was found guilty of murdering his cellmate. Today, Joe Sun is more infamously remembered for his heinous crimes than his minor role in Austin Powers. His story stands as a stark reminder of how quickly fame can be overshadowed by dark, irreversible truths. Danny Masterson gained fame with his role as Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show in the 2000s, becoming a star with his deadpan humor and rebellious charm. However, his once promising career became overshadowed by serious sexual assault allegations from 2001 to 2003, placing him at the center of the Me Too movement. His ties to the Church of Scientology fueled suspicions that the organization had worked to silence the victims. Though he continued working after That 70s Show ended, he was fired from The Ranch on Netflix in 2017. In 2020, formal charges were filed, and despite Masterson's claims of innocence, the 2023 trial took a devastating turn. With emotional testimony from the victims, he was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison in September 2023. As of April 2025, Masterson remains incarcerated, and his case has become one of the most high-profile abuse scandals in Hollywood, marking a significant moment in the industry's shift toward accountability, no matter the fame or power involved. Shelley Mal was once a notable name in the comedy film The 40-Year-Old Virgin, 2005, playing Aziz, one of Steve Carell's quirky colleagues. Though his role was small, his sharp comedic timing and memorable interactions helped make the film a box office hit and left a lasting impression on audiences. Born in Kerala, India in 1964 and raised in Texas, Mal built his career from stage plays before entering Hollywood in the early 1990s. However, his promising career was overshadowed by an act of violence in 2008. In a fit of jealousy, he brutally attacked his ex-girlfriend, Kendra Beebe, stabbing her over 20 times. The severe assault left Beebe with both physical and emotional scars. Mal was arrested shortly after and sentenced to 12 years to life in prison in 2010. The case ended his career and created a dark legacy, completely tarnishing the humorous image he once had. Michael Jace was once a respected actor, best known for his portrayal of LAPD officer Julian Lowe on The Shield, a role admired for its complex depiction of inner conflict and morality. Born in 1962, Jace built a solid career with roles in both film and television. However, his life took a tragic turn in 2011 when he faced overwhelming debt and severe financial struggles. The escalating financial and emotional pressures culminated in a devastating event on May 19, 2014, when Jace shot and killed his wife, April Jace, in their Los Angeles home, in front of their 2 young children. After confessing to the crime, Jace was arrested and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison in 2016. His story stands as a tragic reminder of how personal turmoil and desperation can lead to irreversible consequences, ruining both a family and a once promising career. Skylar DeLeon was once a child actor, best known for a small role in the popular Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series with dreams of becoming a Hollywood star. However, his career quickly fizzled out due to rejection, financial struggles, and personal disappointments. In the early 2000s, DeLeon's life took a sinister turn when he and his wife, Jennifer Henderson, orchestrated one of the most brutal crimes in recent California history. Desperate for money and a sense of purpose, they planned and executed a murder to steal the victim's assets. Once a promising child actor, DeLeon is now remembered solely for the heinous crime he committed, marking a tragic and irreversible downfall. This brutal crime shocked the community, especially as the Hawks family was deeply beloved. Once the truth was uncovered, DeLeon was arrested and sentenced to death in 2008 for double murder. His accomplices also received similarly harsh sentences. From a promising actor, DeLeon is now only remembered for his cruelty. As of April 2025, he remains incarcerated in California, serving as a reminder of how ambition, distorted by greed, can lead to horrific crimes and the lasting pain they cause to innocent families. Sean Diddy Combs once reigned at the top of the entertainment world, known for his legendary career as a producer, fashion mogul, and actor. With monumental successes in launching hip-hop artists and a celebrated music career, Diddy built a powerful empire based on influence and luxury. However, on September 16, 2024, his seemingly perfect life unraveled when he was arrested at a hotel in New York on a series of serious charges. Prosecutors accused Combs of leading a criminal organization, coercing women into sexual acts, and trafficking individuals for prostitution. Behind the glamorous persona, raids on his properties have exposed a disturbing world of abuse and manipulation. Diddy has denied the charges, asserting that he is the victim of a politically motivated attack. However, the gravity of the case is undeniable, and he has been denied bail twice. As of April 2025, Combs remains incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center, with the case closely watched by the public. If convicted, he faces a sentence ranging from 15 years to life in prison. A career once defined by influence and fame is now under threat, with allegations that could forever alter the way the world views one of the most iconic figures in music. Ryan Grantham, once considered a rising star in Canada's entertainment scene, shocked the world with a devastating act of violence. Born in 1998 in British Columbia, Grantham began acting at a young age, quickly drawing attention for his natural on-screen presence. He appeared in popular shows like Supernatural, iZombie, and Unspeakable, along with a memorable role in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. However, behind the fame, Grantham battled severe mental health issues, including depression and suicidal thoughts. Despite his friends and family noticing changes in his behavior, no one could have predicted the tragedy that unfolded on March 31, 2020, when Grantham shot and killed his mother, Barbara Waite, at their home in Squamish, British Columbia. After the murder, Ryan Grantham filmed a confession and loaded weapons into his car, intending to travel across the country to assassinate Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. However, before carrying out his planned violence, Grantham turned himself in to the police. During his 2022 trial, prosecutors presented evidence that the murder had been premeditated. The court ultimately convicted him of second-degree murder and sentenced him to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 14 years. Grantham's story serves as a grim reminder of the harsh realities of mental health struggles and the devastating consequences they can lead to. Oh Young-soo, internationally acclaimed for his role as Player 001 in Squid Game, experienced a dramatic fall after facing serious legal allegations. Born in 1944, Oh was highly respected in South Korea for his contributions to theater before gaining global fame through his role in the hit Netflix series. In 2022, following accusations of unwanted physical contact from a woman, Oh denied any wrongdoing, insisting that his actions were unintentional and not of a sexual nature. However, the public and media could not ignore the gravity of the case. After the investigation was reopened, Oh Young-soo was convicted of indecent assault and sentenced to 8 months in prison, though the sentence was suspended for 2 years, along with an order to complete 40 hours of sexual violence education. As of April 2025, Oh remains under legal supervision. His story serves as a reminder of how fragile fame and influence can be when confronted with the harsh realities of personal accountability. Bill Cosby, a symbol of American entertainment, was once the star of television shows and sitcoms, creating the image of an ideal father and the epitome of the American family in The Cosby Show. However, his legendary fame and career collapsed when sexual assault allegations, spanning from the 1960s, erupted in the early 2000s. In 2005, Andrea Constand accused Cosby of drugging and assaulting her, a case that was later settled out of court but garnered significant attention. In 2014, comedian Hannibal Buress publicly criticized Cosby, leading to a cascade of new accusations, with over 60 women sharing similar experiences. In 2018, Cosby was convicted on 3 counts of aggravated sexual assault, becoming a symbol of the Me Too era's reckoning. From a respected star, Cosby is now remembered for the crimes he committed, marking a pivotal moment in the fight for justice. Amy Locane, a rising star from Melrose Place, shocked the public when her name became linked to a fatal drunk driving accident in 2010. With a blood alcohol level well above the legal limit, she crashed into the car of Helen and Fred Seaman, resulting in Helen's death and leaving Fred severely injured. Locane admitted to the pain and loss caused by her actions, but prosecutors stressed that the accident was entirely preventable. Initially sentenced to just 3 years in prison, her sentence was criticized as too lenient. After several appeals, she was resentenced to 8 years in prison in 2020. Amy Locane's story serves as a powerful reminder of the devastating consequences of drunk driving, highlighting how one reckless decision can destroy lives in an instant. Jim Gordon, a talented drummer and renowned artist, made significant contributions to music in the 1960s and 1970s. As a member of the Wrecking Crew, he recorded with legends like the Beach Boys, Joe Cocker, and Eric Clapton, leaving a lasting impact with the famous track Layla. However, Gordon's music career was threatened by a long struggle with undiagnosed and untreated schizophrenia. His life took a tragic turn in 1983 when, in the midst of a psychotic episode, he attacked and murdered his mother. Gordon was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 16 years to life in prison. While his mental illness played a role in his defense, he was not permitted to use an insanity plea under California law at the time. Gordon spent the rest of his life in prison, passing away in 2023. His story stands as a haunting reminder of how untreated mental illness can destroy even the greatest talents. Though his music career endures, it will forever be overshadowed by the tragedy that marked his life. Josh Duggar, once famous for his role in the reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting, witnessed a stunning public downfall when he became embroiled in several serious scandals. Born on March 3, 1988, Josh was the eldest son in the Duggar family, the child of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. He grew up in a conservative Christian household, raised with strict religious values. From a young age, Josh became a prominent figure in the Duggar family's highly conservative lifestyle, particularly through their TLC show, where the family shared their daily lives with the public. Off-screen, Josh Duggar was also active in politics, working as a lobbyist for the Family Research Council, a group that champions conservative Christian values. However, in 2015, his spotless public image was shattered when reports revealed that he had molested multiple underage girls, including some of his own sisters, during his teenage years. Although his family and local authorities had known about these incidents for years, they were kept private until the media brought them to light. The scandal resulted in the cancellation of 19 Kids and Counting, and Josh resigned from his political position. However, the scandal didn't end there. Another shocking revelation emerged when it was discovered that Josh had an account on the infidelity website Ashley Madison, and he admitted to cheating on his wife, Anna Duggar. He later checked into a rehab facility, citing an addiction to pornography and personal issues. But the most serious legal trouble came in 2021, when Josh was arrested on charges related to receiving and possessing child pornography. Prosecutors described the material as some of the worst they had ever encountered. In December 2021, Josh Duggar was convicted and sentenced to 12 years and 7 months in federal prison, followed by 20 years of probation. He is currently serving his sentence at FCIC Goville, a low-security federal prison in Texas. Josh's downfall is widely regarded as one of the most shocking examples of hypocrisy in the reality television world. Once presented as a symbol of innocence and faith, his actions starkly contradicted the values preached by the Duggar family. Josh's legacy is now forever tainted by his crimes and the betrayal of the trust placed in him. As fame fades, fortunes crumble, and the spotlight shifts, some celebrity homes now stand as forgotten relics. Once worth millions, these estates could now be purchased for just $1, yet no one dares to claim them. From pop icons to legendary film stars, these once glamorous properties have become haunting ruins. But what's the real reason they've been abandoned? Is it due to their eerie histories, astronomical repair costs, or is there something darker hidden within? If the story of these iconic homes intrigues you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dramatic tales. Could these ruins ever be restored, or will they remain lost to time? Share your thoughts in the comments and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next shocking chapter. One of the most iconic examples is Bruce Lee's house, a martial arts legend whose spirit still lingers in the walls of his old mansion on the outskirts of Los Angeles. Designed in the late 1960s, this house was not only a retreat for a celebrity, but also a place where Bruce Lee sought peace and inspiration. Today, the house still holds the marks of greatness, but perhaps no one dares to enter, as the haunting presence and mysterious stories hidden within remain. Bruce Lee's mansion, with its stunning views of Los Angeles and sleek minimalist design, embodied Lee's philosophy of balance between simplicity and strength. However, like his brief yet legendary life, the story of the mansion took a tragic turn following his sudden death in 1973. Once a peaceful retreat, the house has since become a haunting symbol of a life taken too soon. Despite changing hands several times over the years, no owner has been able to shake the dark reputation that seems to linger over the estate, leaving it forever marked by the shadows of Lee's untimely passing. The expensive repairs and ongoing rumors of strange occurrences have caused potential buyers to shy away from the property. Despite being listed for a fraction of its original price, the mansion remains largely untouched, with its once pristine interior now faded and forgotten. While the estate may symbolize a life tragically cut short, only a few seem brave enough to consider reviving it. What was once a reflection of a superstar's life now stands as a relic, a haunting reminder of a past filled with fame and glory. Tom Cruise's sleek, modern estate, built in the early 2000s, sits on the hills of Los Angeles. It was the perfect property with expansive glass walls, an infinity pool overlooking the city, and cutting-edge design that embodied the luxury of Cruise's golden era. The estate once hosted exclusive parties with the rich and famous beneath dazzling crystal chandeliers. However, after the owner moved out and endured a bitter breakup, the estate quickly fell into disrepair. Like a once famous actor fading from the spotlight, this mansion has become a forgotten relic. The lush gardens have grown wild, the glossy marble floors are now cracked, and the windows that once offered breathtaking views of the LA skyline now only reflect signs of decay and neglect. Despite the tempting price, potential buyers are discouraged by the steep maintenance costs and whispers of lingering bad energy in the shadows, making it unlikely that the house will ever find a new owner. Burt Reynolds, a symbol of charm and natural charisma, once owned a stunning estate in Florida. Built in the 1970s, the mansion sat on the pristine shores of Hobbs Sound, boasting a large pool, lush gardens, and expansive terraces with breathtaking views of the water. It was the perfect retreat for the star, known for iconic roles in Smokey and the Bandit and The Longest Yard, and also served as a gathering spot for Hollywood stars and the entertainment elite. However, like many other stars, Reynolds's career eventually declined, and the estate quickly fell into neglect. What was once a symbol of wealth and allure has now become a symbol of faded fame. The grand rooms now stand empty, and the iconic pool, once filled with laughter and luxury, now sits abandoned. Although the property has been listed for sale, the marks of its decay still haunt the house, preventing it from finding a new owner. Celebrity mansions, despite being listed at surprisingly low prices, often remain unsold. The primary reasons for this are the high maintenance costs and the dark histories attached to them. Will these once glamorous symbols of fame be revived, or will they stand forever as monuments to a bygone era? Only time will tell. Johnny Depp's sprawling estate in the south of France, purchased in the early 2000s, was a dream come true for him, a peaceful escape from the chaos of fame. With its Gothic turrets, winding staircases, and lush vineyards, it offered a luxurious retreat for the famous star. However, legal battles, poor financial management, and personal troubles eventually led to the estate being abandoned. The grand halls, once filled with the laughter of Hollywood stars, are now eerily silent, with opulent furniture left covered in dust. Despite the reduced price, few have shown interest, deterred by the enormous costs to restore the property and the heavy shadow of Depp's troubled past. Will this estate ever be revived, or will it remain a symbol of decline? Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, once a private amusement park and zoo nestled in the Santa Ynez Valley, now stands abandoned, eerily reflecting the haunted legacy of the King of Pop. Built in the mid-1980s, it was Jackson's personal paradise, where he hosted lavish parties and created memories with children. However, as Jackson's personal and legal troubles mounted, the ranch became more of a burden than a retreat. After his death in 2009, Neverland was left to decay, with rides and furnishings gathering dust. Despite multiple price reductions, the estate has failed to sell. Burdened by its controversial past and astronomical restoration costs, will this land ever be revived, or will it forever stand as a testament to the rise and fall of a pop legend? Cher's Malibu mansion, purchased in the 1970s, now stands as an eccentric relic reflecting the diva's glamorous past. With sweeping ocean views and meticulously manicured gardens, the estate embodied Cher's rock and roll lifestyle. She hosted lavish parties here and used it as a retreat to recharge. The modern design of the house mirrored her bold, vibrant, and unique personality. However, like many iconic moments in Cher's life, the mansion eventually became part of Hollywood history, a forgotten monument witnessing the decline of a golden era. After Courtney Love sold the property in the late 1980s, Her mansion passed through several ownership changes, but no one has been able to maintain the allure it once had. The once vibrant interior has faded, and the expansive gardens have become overgrown. The property's glamorous past now feels like a distant memory, overshadowed by the escalating maintenance costs and the uncomfortable associations with its previous owners. Despite multiple price reductions, the mansion remains unsold, too costly to restore and burdened by the weight of its past. What was once a retreat for stars is now a crumbling monument to a bygone era, unlikely to ever reclaim the spotlight of fame. Courtney Love's Los Angeles mansion, nestled among the hills, was once the retreat of a captivating rock star. With its mid-century modern design and sharp, angular lines, the home reflected Love's bold style. The expansive grounds were the setting for wild parties, filled with the energy of her career's peak. However, as Love's personal struggles escalated, the house became a symbol of her unraveling career. The eclectic interior, once full of life, is now forgotten. The luxurious pool now sits empty, cracked tiles and stagnant water marking the mansion's decline. Despite being listed at a reduced price, the ownership changes have failed to breathe life into the property. Will anyone be willing to take on this relic, or will it remain a monument to a life teetering on the edge? Pablo Escobar's estate, once a symbol of unparalleled wealth and power, now stands abandoned as a decaying reminder of the Colombian drug lord's reign. Hacienda Nápoles, built in the 1980s, was Escobar's personal playground, complete with a private zoo, a grand mansion, and sprawling grounds. The estate hosted extravagant parties, where Escobar flaunted his wealth with exotic animals and complex structures, including a private runway. However, after Escobar's empire collapsed and his tragic end in 1993, the estate slowly deteriorated. The zoo, once home to rare and exotic creatures, was abandoned, and the mansion began to decay. The once grand rooms are now silent and forgotten. Despite being listed for sale several times, the estate has yet to find a buyer. The remnants of its dark history, along with the enormous restoration costs, make it unlikely that this property will ever find a new owner. Hacienda Nápoles, the estate once a symbol of Pablo Escobar's unmatched wealth and power, now stands abandoned, a cold reminder of an empire built on blood and illegal assets. Despite the steep price reduction, the violent legacy and corruption tied to this property remain a burden no one is willing to bear. The estate may forever be a monument to Escobar, reflecting not only the rise but also the fall of one of the most powerful men in history. Its dark legacy has made every attempt to find a buyer futile. Rapper Nelly's mansion in St. Louis, once a symbol of his early success, now stands as a forgotten relic of past glory. Purchased in the mid-2000s, the home reflected Nelly's lavish lifestyle, featuring a large pool, stylish design, and spacious interiors. It wasn't just a house, it was a bold statement of the success of a music icon. However, as Nelly's career slowed and he shifted his focus to other ventures, the mansion began to fall into neglect. Rooms deteriorated, and the once glorious pool grew dark and lifeless. Despite significant price reductions, efforts to sell the property have failed, hindered by high renovation costs and ongoing maintenance. As a result, the mansion has faded into obscurity, no longer drawing attention or interest. Birdman's sprawling estate in Miami, once the beacon of hip-hop royalty, stood as a clear symbol of the highs and lows of his career. Purchased in the early 2000s, this riverfront mansion was designed to reflect the luxurious lifestyle of Brian Williams, the founder of Cash Money Records. With expansive living spaces, floor-to-ceiling windows, and a private dock for luxury yachts, the mansion was the perfect venue for Birdman to entertain music stars and business partners. However, as Birdman's financial troubles mounted, the mansion began to lose its initial allure. Once a symbol of success, the estate has now become a stark reminder of the fleeting nature of wealth, with its value declining and neglect becoming increasingly evident. Baldwin House, once the home of Aleister Crowley, one of the most enigmatic and controversial figures in mystical history, now stands as a decaying relic of dark mysticism. Purchased in the 1920s and situated by Loch Ness, the mansion once provided the ideal setting for Crowley's occult rituals. However, after his departure, Baldwin House quickly fell into disrepair, with its once pristine gardens becoming overgrown and chaotic, and its elegant interior deteriorating. Despite significant price reductions and being listed for years, the house remains unsold. Burdened by its dark reputation and the steep costs of restoration, Baldwin House may forever remain a forgotten property, trapped by its haunted legacy. Madonna's estate in the Hamptons, once the epitome of allure and style, now stands as a faded reflection of a lavish era. Purchased in the 1980s, this mansion served as Madonna's sanctuary during her peak career years. With opulent interiors and a pool sparkling under the New York sun, it was where she sought privacy, hosting intimate gatherings and creative sessions. However, as Madonna's career evolved and her personal life shifted, the estate began to deteriorate. Despite multiple price reductions, the property failed to attract a buyer. The high maintenance costs and renovation burdens have made the mansion irreparable, slowly fading into the past of Madonna's legendary rise to fame, likely never to recapture the spotlight again. Steve Jobs' Palo Alto estate, a minimalist masterpiece, now stands abandoned, a stark contrast to the visionary innovation Jobs once embodied. Designed by architect Marco Peavy, the house seamlessly blended cutting-edge technology with sleek modern aesthetics. It was the space where Jobs lived in the 1990s while rebuilding Apple from the ground up, a creative sanctuary that reflected his genius and obsession with perfection. However, after his passing in 2011, the mansion lost its original vibrancy. The marks of innovation and Jobs' creative spirit are now forgotten in the silence of the house, no longer resonating with the groundbreaking ideas that once changed the world. Liza Minnelli's penthouse in Manhattan, once a symbol of charm and Broadway legend, now stands abandoned, a relic of a bygone era. Located in the heart of New York, this luxurious apartment was Minnelli's refuge during the 1970s and 1980s, where she hosted intimate gatherings and exclusive parties. However, as her career slowed down, the apartment began to deteriorate. Despite its prime location, the high maintenance costs and the weight of its history have made it impossible to sell, even after multiple price reductions. What was once a symbol of brilliance on stage is now just a faded memory of a time long past. Boris Becker's estate in Wimbledon, once a symbol of the success and luxury of the tennis legend, now quietly stands as a testament to his decline. Purchased in the early 1990s, this sprawling Georgian-style mansion was where Becker sought peace and privacy, away from the intense spotlight of his sports career. However, after Becker's bankruptcy in 2017 and subsequent legal battles, the estate began to deteriorate. Despite being listed at a reduced price, the property has failed to sell, burdened by its association with financial controversies and the steep costs of restoration. What was once a symbol of victory is now a mere relic of a forgotten legend. Robin Williams' estate in Paradise Cay, California, once the sanctuary of one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, now stands abandoned, a poignant reminder of a life as multifaceted as the man who once lived there. Purchased in the late 1990s, this home provided Williams with the peace and privacy he sought, a place to escape the chaos of fame and find creative inspiration. However, after Williams's tragic passing in 2014, the estate lost the vibrancy that once filled it with laughter and warmth. Despite efforts to sell, the house has failed to find a new owner, largely due to the emotional burden left by Williams' death and the property's deteriorating condition. Betty White's Brentwood home, once a reflection of her warm and down-to-earth personality, now stands as a quiet reminder of the life and illustrious career of this beloved star. Purchased in the 1960s, the house was White's sanctuary, a place where she could relax and escape the spotlight. However, after her passing in early 2022, the house was left empty, and the warmth that once filled it faded. The once thriving garden is now overgrown, and the lovingly decorated interior shows signs of age. Despite its significant value and prime location, the home remains unsold due to rising maintenance costs and its deep connection to White's legendary past. The future of the house remains uncertain, serving as a testament to her legacy, waiting for a new chapter that may never come. Dean Martin's estate in Trousdale Estates, once a symbol of Hollywood's golden era, now stands abandoned, a reminder of the past glory of the Rat Pack icon. Purchased in the 1960s, this villa was a sanctuary for Martin, with its open design, expansive pool, and panoramic views of Los Angeles. It was the venue for lavish parties and gatherings with some of Hollywood's biggest stars. However, after Martin's death in 1995 and several ownership changes over the years, the house could never regain its original charm. The once enchanting interiors and outdoor spaces have deteriorated, with high restoration costs and its connection to Hollywood's past deterring potential buyers. What was once a symbol of luxury now remains a relic of a bygone era with an uncertain future ahead. Tommy Lee's California mansion, once a symbol of the extravagance and wild lifestyle of the Mötley Crüe drummer, now stands abandoned, a distant memory of a legendary era. Purchased in the 1980s, this Malibu estate was designed for high living, with a large pool, private beach, and expansive open spaces perfect for rock and roll parties, where unforgettable wild stories unfolded. However, as Lee's career and personal life took unpredictable turns, the estate began to deteriorate. Despite numerous price reductions, the mansion remains unsold due to high restoration costs and its connection to Lee's tumultuous past. What was once a rock star's paradise is now a relic of a bygone era, waiting for a new owner that may never come. Jason Derulo's Miami estate, once a lavish statement of his musical success, now stands abandoned. Purchased in the early 2010s, the sleek, contemporary mansion with glass walls and a large pool reflected Derulo's extravagant lifestyle. It was a place where he could relax and entertain between chart-topping hits, However, as Derulo's focus shifted, the estate was increasingly neglected. Attempts to sell the property have failed due to the high restoration costs and its association with a once glorious past that no longer draws the attention of potential buyers. The mansion, once the shining home of a pop star, now stands as a relic of a bygone era with an uncertain future, as no one is willing to undertake the lavish renovation it needs. Frank Sinatra's Twin Palms estate in Palm Springs, once a lavish retreat for the Hollywood legend, now stands as a poignant relic of a bygone era. Purchased in the 1940s, this mid-century modern home, designed by renowned architect E. Stewart Williams, served as a private sanctuary for Sinatra, where he escaped the public eye and composed many of his timeless songs. The large pool, with a palm tree growing straight through the center, became an iconic symbol of his extravagant lifestyle. However, after Sinatra's death in 1998, the estate began to deteriorate. Despite passing through several owners, no one has been able to restore its former charm. Although it has been listed at a reduced price multiple times, the home remains unsold due to high maintenance costs and its aging structure, which is difficult to repair. The estate now serves as a testament to a glorious past, waiting for a new owner that may never come. Jane Mansfield's Pink Palace, once the glittering beacon of Hollywood, now stands abandoned, a faded testament to the turbulent life of the iconic star. Purchased in the 1950s, this striking pink mansion in Beverly Hills reflected Mansfield's larger-than-life personality, with its lavish design and curvaceous architectural features, much like the actress herself. It was where she lived and hosted scandalous parties, serving as the backdrop to the glamorous yet notorious life of one of Hollywood's most alluring icons. However, after Mansfield's tragic death in a car accident in 1967, the mansion lost its former splendor. Despite several attempts at restoration, the estate was eventually sold and demolished in the 1980s to make way for modern developments. The Pink Palace may no longer exist, but its legacy lives on in the hearts of fans, serving as a poignant reminder of the fleeting nature of fame. These legendary homes stand as undeniable proof of a truth we can't ignore. No matter how grand, fame and fortune can fade into oblivion. The stories of these estates teach us that success is never guaranteed, and everything can change in the blink of an eye. We sometimes forget to consider the cost of fame's aftermath, but don't let that scare you. Let it remind us that nothing lasts forever. So, what's the lesson here? Success, no matter how grand, can fade quickly. Can we separate the art from the artist? Should we continue enjoying their films or erase them from Hollywood history? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Which story shocked you the most? And do you believe justice has truly been served? If this video surprised you, hit the like button, subscribe for more unbelievable stories, and share it with those who still think Hollywood is all glamour and allure, because sometimes the scariest roles aren't in the movies, they're in real life. Welcome to today's video. In this video, we'll dive into the stories of famous celebrities who reached the peak of their careers but ended up behind bars due to serious mistakes. From poor decisions to scandalous controversies, their stories serve as a reminder that fame and success can't protect them from harsh consequences. Let's explore these notable stories right now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it. Also, Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss any future content. Leave your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think about the mistakes these celebrities made. Todd and Julie Chrisley, stars of Chrisley Knows Best, became famous for their extravagant wealth and family-centric humor. However, their polished image unraveled in August 2019 when they were hit with serious legal charges. The couple faced accusations of tax evasion, bank fraud, and wire fraud, including claims of evading nearly $2 million in state taxes, hiding over $1 million in income from their show, and falsifying financial records to mislead authorities. Their legal troubles marked a stunning fall from grace, turning their once celebrated reality TV success into a shocking financial scandal. Despite initially maintaining their innocence, Todd and Julie Chrisley ultimately faced trial, where prosecutors uncovered their elaborate financial fraud. Evidence revealed that they had inflated their net worth to secure massive loans, submitted falsified documents, and borrowed over $30 million to fund their lavish lifestyle, all while concealing income from the IRS. After nearly 3 weeks of testimony, the couple was convicted on multiple charges, including conspiracy to commit bank fraud, wire fraud, and tax evasion, with Julie also found guilty of additional wire fraud offenses. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison, and Julie received a 7-year sentence. Todd is currently serving his time at the Federal Correctional Institution in Pensacola, Florida, while Julie is incarcerated at a federal facility in the state. Their once glamorous reality TV empire now stands as a cautionary tale of deception, greed, and the devastating consequences of financial fraud. Ryan Grantham, a 24-year-old actor known for his roles in television and film, shocked the world in 2020 with a horrifying crime. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder for killing his mother, Barbara Waite, and was sentenced to life in prison, with no chance of parole for 14 years. During his trial in Vancouver in June, chilling details emerged. On March 31, 2020, Grantham shot his 64-year-old mother in the back of the head while she was playing the piano. Even more disturbing, he filmed a confession before attempting to conceal her body, turning his once promising career into a tragic and violent story. The tragic case took an even darker turn after the murder. Following the killing of his mother, Ryan Grantham loaded his car with 3 guns, ammunition, 12 Molotov cocktails, and camping gear, intending to assassinate Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. However, before he could carry out the attack, he had a change of heart and turned himself in to Vancouver police. Judge Kathleen Kerr, who presided over his case, referred to his decision to abandon the plan as his saving grace. Psychiatric evaluations revealed that Grantham had been battling severe depression for months prior to the crime and had shown deep remorse, even contemplating self-harm. The court ultimately concluded that he killed his mother to protect her from witnessing the violence he had originally intended. His shocking downfall is a stark reminder of the devastating impact of untreated mental health struggles and internal turmoil. Zara Fithian, 39, and her husband, Victor Mark, 59, were recently convicted at Nottingham Crown Court in the UK on 14 counts of sexual abuse. The crimes, committed between 2005 and 2008, targeted a minor known as A. According to the BBC, the victim detailed the couple's manipulative and abusive behavior, including threats that left her feeling trapped and unable to speak out or escape. The case revealed a disturbing pattern of exploitation. emphasizing the profound impact of abuse and the urgent need to hold perpetrators accountable, no matter their public status. Victor Mark also faces 4 additional charges after another woman accused him of sexually abusing her between 2002 and 2003 when she was under 18. These new allegations reveal a disturbing history of predatory behavior. Senior Investigation Officer Parander Dillon praised both victims for their courage in coming forward, expressing hope that the sentencing would offer them justice and closure. He also stressed that this case serves as a powerful reminder of the severe consequences of such crimes, reinforcing the message that perpetrators will be held accountable regardless of how long it takes. Bobby Shmurda's music was more than just entertainment. It was a raw reflection of his real-life experiences. In 2014, at just 20 years old, he skyrocketed to fame with his breakout hit Hot Nigga, which reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. His unfiltered lyrics and electrifying energy made him one of the most talked-about newcomers in hip-hop, with many predicting a bright future ahead. However, his rapid rise came to an abrupt halt. Just as his career was gaining momentum, serious legal troubles hit, threatening to derail everything. What seemed like the beginning of a promising journey quickly turned into a harsh reality, as the young rapper found himself embroiled in a case that would change his life forever. In 2014, Bobby Shmurda's rapidly rising rap career came to a sudden halt as he became entangled in serious legal troubles. In June, he was arrested for weapon possession after police discovered a gun in a friend's apartment. But things took a much darker turn in December when he was arrested again, this time facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder. As authorities delved deeper into his alleged criminal ties, his situation only worsened. While in custody at Rikers Island, Shmurda was caught attempting to smuggle a knife into the facility, adding another charge to his already growing list of offenses. What once looked like the start of a promising career quickly unraveled, leaving Shmurda facing a future far from the success he had once been on track to achieve. By September 2016, Bobby Shmurda, facing a series of serious charges, took a plea deal, pleading guilty to third-degree conspiracy to commit murder and weapon possession. Initially sentenced to 7 years in prison, his situation worsened when authorities discovered a homemade knife in his cell, leading to an extension of his sentence to 11 years. Shmurda's rapid fall from a rising rap star to a convicted inmate serves as a tough lesson within the hip-hop industry. His story underscores the harsh consequences of reckless decisions and criminal ties, demonstrating how even the brightest talent can be derailed by poor choices. Harvey Weinstein, once a towering figure in Hollywood, faced another devastating legal blow with an additional 16-year sentence in Los Angeles. This sentence is added to the 23 years he's already serving in New York for sexual abuse and assault. In December 2019, a Los Angeles jury convicted Weinstein of molestation and assault against a woman known as Jane Doe 1. Her powerful testimony revealed the profound emotional scars caused by his actions, underscoring that no prison term could ever erase the damage he inflicted. Once a giant in the film industry, Weinstein's dramatic fall from grace stands as one of the most significant reckonings in modern entertainment history. During the trial, Harvey Weinstein's defense team attempted to discredit his victims with sexist rhetoric, even insulting Jennifer Siebel Newsom, an actress and wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom, by calling her a shallow woman in an effort to undermine the Me Too movement. Despite pleading for leniency, portraying himself as a frail 70-year-old man in poor health, and highlighting his contributions to the film industry, the court upheld his sentence. The verdict not only provided a sense of closure to his victims, but also sent a strong message about power, abuse, and accountability. It reinforced the cultural shift ignited by the Me Too, showing that no amount of influence or industry prestige could protect perpetrators from facing justice. The murder case involving C Murder gained national attention in 2003 when the rapper was arrested for the killing of 16-year-old Stephen Thomas. Corey Miller, known professionally as C Murder, has consistently maintained his innocence, in some claiming they were coerced by police into identifying C Murder as the shooter. These revelations have sparked debates over wrongful convictions, leaving his case shrouded in controversy and uncertainty. Darnell Jordan, a security guard who witnessed the incident, later revealed that he had been arrested and detained until he agreed to testify against C Murder, raising further doubts about the fairness of the case. The controversy surrounding C Murder's conviction gained even more attention in 2020 when Kim Kardashian publicly called for a re-examination of the evidence, joining the fight for justice. Despite these efforts, C Murder remains incarcerated, serving a life sentence. His only hope for freedom lies in presenting undeniable proof, not only to clear his name, but also to expose the true perpetrator of that tragic night. His case continues to be one of the most debated in hip-hop, highlighting the complexities of the justice system and the ongoing battle for truth. Bill Cosby, once celebrated as America's Dad for his iconic role on The Cosby Show, faced a dramatic and historic downfall. As the first major celebrity sentenced in the Me Too era, his case became a pivotal moment in the movement, marking a shift toward accountability for powerful figures. Judge Stephen O'Neill, who presided over the trial in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, delivered the sentence with unwavering resolve, stating that justice had been served. Once a symbol of family values, Cosby's legacy is now irreversibly tarnished, serving as a cautionary tale of power, betrayal, and the long-overdue reckoning. Bill Cosby, once hailed as America's Dad for his iconic role on The Cosby Show, saw his career and legacy unravel under the weight of his crimes. His conviction and sentencing became a historic moment in the Me Too movement, making him the first major celebrity to face justice in this new era of accountability. Judge Stephen O'Neill, who oversaw the trial in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, delivered the sentence with unwavering resolve, sending a clear message that no amount of fame or power can protect anyone from the consequences of their actions. Although Bill Cosby showed no emotion as his sentence was read, reports later described him as calm, at times even smiling and chatting with his legal team. When given the chance to speak before sentencing, he chose to remain silent. His case continues to spark legal and social debates, serving as a powerful reminder that neither fame nor fortune can shield individuals from accountability. Cosby's downfall became a pivotal moment in the fight for justice, proving that no one is above the law. Colin Rashad Walker embodies the darker side of power and manipulation in the digital age. With his fame and social media presence, he created an image of charm and authenticity only to weaponize it against those who trusted him, especially young women. Exploiting his status, he deceived victims with false promises of mentorship and opportunity, turning their admiration into a tool for abuse. His case serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of blindly trusting online figures, highlighting the risks that come with unchecked influence in the digital world. Colin Rashad Walker's 50-year prison sentence represents a significant step in holding sexual offenders accountable, emphasizing the importance of justice for survivors. His case highlights the urgent need to protect victims from exploitation and strengthen safeguards against abuse. It serves as a powerful reminder that both society and the legal system must work together to protect vulnerable individuals and ensure perpetrators face the full consequences of their actions. Walker's downfall is a stark warning, showing that neither influence nor fame can shield those who misuse their power from facing justice. Ian Watkins, the former lead singer of Lost Prophets, sent shockwaves through the music industry when he was arrested in late 2012 on multiple charges involving minors. Once celebrated as a voice for the misunderstood, his horrific crimes revealed a level of betrayal that devastated both fans and the public. The exposure of his actions destroyed his legacy, turning a once-respected musician into one of the most despised figures in modern rock history. The staggering scope of his offenses left the industry in shock, serving as a grim reminder that even those idolized on stage can hide the darkest of secrets. At first, both fans and bandmates struggled to accept the allegations against Ian Watkins, standing by him in disbelief. However, as the horrifying truth began to unfold, their support quickly crumbled. The evidence against him was so disturbing that law enforcement described it as one of the most harrowing cases they had ever encountered. Ultimately, Watkins pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including possession of illegal materials and other serious offenses, in an effort to spare the jury from witnessing the deeply unsettling evidence. His downfall was not just a personal disgrace. It was a shocking revelation that left an irreversible stain on the music industry and the lives of those who had once idolized him. Ian Watkins was sentenced to 29 years in prison, followed by 6 years of supervised release. Since his incarceration, his health and appearance have noticeably deteriorated, leaving him almost unrecognizable. While a small group of loyal fans and former acquaintances continue to visit, his once celebrated status as a musician has been entirely erased. What remains is not the legacy of a rock star, but the lasting horror of his crimes, forever overshadowing the music and fame he once enjoyed. Before rising to fame with hits like Pick Up the Phone and Lifestyle, Young Thug was allegedly involved in gang-related activities. On May 9, 2022, he was arrested and charged with conspiracy and gang activity linked to crimes dating back to 2013. The 56-count indictment painted a troubling picture of his past, with one of the most serious allegations claiming he rented an Infiniti Q50 sedan, which was later used in the murder of rival gang member Donovan Thomas Jr. As these charges loom over him, what was once a thriving rap empire now faces the looming threat of collapse. In addition to the conspiracy and gang-related charges, Young Thug's legal troubles deepened after a police raid on his home uncovered controlled substances intended for distribution, along with several dangerous weapons, including sawed-off shotguns and rifles. This led to further gang-related charges being filed against him. Known for his affiliation with the YSL Street Gang, he is one of 28 individuals facing criminal charges related to the group. Currently in custody, he awaits trial set for January 9, 2023. If convicted, He could face up to 20 years in prison, marking a dramatic fall from his once dominant position in the rap industry. Austin Jones rose to fame through his singing videos on YouTube, gaining over 500,000 subscribers and millions of views with his covers and original songs. However, in 2015, his promising career took a dark turn when he unexpectedly canceled his appearance on the Vans Warped Tour. Soon after, he posted a YouTube video addressing disturbing allegations against him, expressing regret for his actions. What initially seemed like a minor controversy quickly spiraled into a shocking scandal, ultimately leading to his downfall. On June 9, 2017, Austin Jones's home was searched under a warrant from a U.S. federal judge, and later that day, he was arrested at O'Hare International Airport. This led to a shocking legal battle, which concluded on May 3, 2019, with a 10-year federal prison sentence. The investigation uncovered efforts by several individuals to conceal his misconduct, complicating the case even further. As a result, Jones's YouTube channel was permanently removed, wiping out the online presence that had once catapulted him to fame. His downfall is a stark reminder of how fame can be misused to betray trust, and how eventually justice will prevail, no matter the time it takes. Big Lurch, aka Anon Singleton, emerged in the late 1990s as a promising talent in the rap scene. However, his career took a tragic and shocking turn after a series of devastating events. Following the lukewarm reception of his debut album, he was involved in a near-fatal crash caused by a drunk driver, resulting in a broken neck. Struggling with chronic pain and a stalled under the influence of PCP, Big Lurch experienced terrifying hallucinations that led him to believe demons were inside his 21-year-old roommate's stomach. Standing at an imposing 6'7", he easily overpowered her in a gruesome and fatal attack. The drugs played a central role in the horrific crime, leaving him in a completely deranged state when authorities arrived, seemingly unaware of the brutality he had just committed. In November 2003, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Despite his severe mental impairment at the time, he was denied an insanity defense due to his voluntary drug use leading up to the incident. His case remains one of the most chilling examples of drug-induced psychosis, serving as a grim reminder of the dangers of addiction, violence, and the catastrophic consequences of substance abuse on a once promising career. R. Kelly, once a towering figure in R&B during the early 2000s, saw his career collapse under the weight of long-standing allegations, culminating in his formal indictment in 2021. Currently serving a prison sentence for charges including human trafficking and sexual abuse, his downfall was decades in the making. As early as 1994, he was accused of pressuring singer Aaliyah into falsifying her birth certificate so they could marry while she was still underage. An incident that foreshadowed years of controversy and criminal allegations. What was once an untouchable legacy in music is now overshadowed by a disturbing history of exploitation and abuse. Over the years, the allegations against R. Kelly became increasingly disturbing. In 1996, he was accused of assaulting a woman, and by 2002, explicit videos allegedly showing him with minors began circulating widely. Authorities even seized a camera containing inappropriate images. Despite the mounting evidence, the charges were dismissed due to insufficient proof for conviction, allowing Kelly to evade accountability for years. His ability to escape legal consequences only prolonged his dominance in the music industry. While behind the scenes, the dark reality of his actions continued to unfold unchecked. The accusations against R. Kelly grew more alarming when it was revealed that he had been keeping multiple women in a toxic, tightly controlled environment. As the claims gained traction, more survivors came forward, courageously sharing their harrowing experiences of abuse. Their powerful testimonies played a central role in a landmark trial, which ultimately led to his conviction. In June 2022, R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison, marking a significant moment in the pursuit of justice and a long-awaited reckoning for his actions. Toby Willis was a prominent figure on the beloved TLC show The Willis Clan, which featured a musical family of 12 children who captivated audiences with their performances. Their fame soared when they reached the quarterfinals of America's Got Talent in 2014, earning national recognition for their talent and wholesome image. However, behind this public success, a hidden darkness was growing, one that would ultimately destroy the family's reputation and lead to Toby Willis's unexpected fall from grace. Beneath the wholesome image of the Willis clan, a dark and horrifying secret lurked, threatening to destroy everything. Behind closed doors, Toby Willis exploited his position of trust to prey on 4 young girls, including 3 of his own daughters and a relative, all under the age of 18. The shocking revelation shattered the family's carefully cultivated public persona, turning what was once a story of musical success into a heartbreaking tale of betrayal and abuse. In 2016, the tragic truth surfaced when a courageous victim came forward to report the abuse to authorities. This led to Toby Willis's arrest and the revelation of even more horrifying details. By 2017, he had pleaded guilty to 4 counts of sexual abuse of a minor, forever tarnishing the public image he had carefully cultivated. Sentenced to 40 years in prison without the possibility of parole, he was also ordered to pay $1.4 million in restitution to his victims. In addition, he was required to register as a sex offender for life. The devastating impact of his crimes rippled throughout his entire family. Danny Masterson's career follows a classic trajectory of success, followed by a shocking downfall. Born in Long Island, New York in 1976, he became a household name as Stephen Hyde on that 70s show, winning audiences over with his laid-back, rebellious charm. However, his rise to fame was ultimately overshadowed by controversy. In the mid-2010s, serious allegations of sexual assault emerged, damaging his once pristine reputation. The most significant blow came in June 2020, when Masterson was formally charged with 3 counts of sexual assault. What began as a promising Hollywood career quickly unraveled, leaving behind a legacy forever tainted by scandal and legal battles. Danny Masterson's highly publicized legal battle has cast a dark shadow over both his personal and professional life. The fallout was swift. His talent agency severed ties with him, and he was quickly distanced from the industry that had once embraced him. As of 2023, at 47 years old, Masterson remains caught in legal uncertainty, with his future hanging in the balance. His case has sparked widespread discussions about the intersection of fame, power, and accountability in Hollywood. Regardless of the outcome, the damage to his career and legacy is irreversible, serving as a stark contrast to the success he once enjoyed. Adidja Palmer, better known as Vybz Kartel, rose to global prominence as a reggae and dancehall icon. However, his career took a dark turn when he became involved in a deadly dispute. Accused of orchestrating the murder of Clive "Lizard" Williams over an alleged stolen firearm, his case became one of the most high-profile trials in Jamaica's history. His legal battle and conviction stand in stark contrast to that of another musician we'll discuss later, one whose prison sentence stemmed from a tragic mistake involving an innocent homeless man. Kartel's story remains a gripping tale of fame, power, and the devastating consequences of a life steeped in violence. On December 29, 2011, Vybz Kartel was arrested on charges of drug possession and illegal firearms. Although he was granted bail for these offenses, he remained in custody due to allegations linking him to the murder of Clive "Lizard" Williams. His trial faced years of delays, including a 3-year postponement caused by complications in jury selection. After a lengthy and grueling 65-day trial, one of the longest in Jamaica's history, an 11-member jury found him guilty on November 18, 2013. Kartel was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after serving 32 years and 6 months, making him eligible for release in 2046. His conviction sent shockwaves through the dancehall community, transforming one of Jamaica's most celebrated musical figures into one of its most notorious inmates. Tay K, one of the youngest artists to experience such a rapid and dramatic downfall, is currently serving a 55-year prison sentence. In 2017, he skyrocketed to fame with his viral hit The Race, which climbed the Billboard Hot 100, ironically released on the same day he was captured after spending 3 months on the run. However, his rise to stardom was quickly overshadowed by his involvement in serious crimes, including a murder committed during a robbery. Despite showing immense potential in the music industry, his decisions led to a devastating fate, cutting his career short just as it was starting. His story serves as a stark reminder of how one wrong choice can erase even the brightest future. In 2016, Tay K was involved in a home invasion that resulted in the tragic death of Ethan Walker. The robbery, intended to target a drug dealer and his associates, quickly turned violent. Initially placed under house arrest, Tay K defied authorities by cutting off his ankle monitor and fleeing, even taunting law enforcement on Twitter. During his 3-month escape, he released The Race, a track that went viral and propelled him to fame. However, his defiance sealed his fate. He was eventually captured, convicted, and sentenced to 55 years in prison, cutting short a promising music career before it could truly take off. His story serves as a harsh reminder that one reckless decision can overshadow talent and ambition, turning a rising star into a cautionary tale. While on the run, Tay K's legal troubles only escalated. He was involved in a robbery outside a Chick-fil-A in Texas that led to another man's death, adding to his growing list of violent offenses. Additionally, he assaulted and robbed a 65-year-old man who later identified him to authorities. These crimes further compounded the severity of his charges, sealing his fate. Since 2017, Tay K has remained in custody, facing a minimum of 27.5 years before becoming eligible for parole. What could have been a thriving music career was instead derailed by a series of reckless and violent choices. His tragic downfall stands as a sobering reminder of a young artist's lost potential, overshadowed by crime and its consequences. For years, Zach Avery deceived not just friends and family, but also major investors, convincing them that he had exclusive film distribution deals with platforms like Netflix and HBO. Promising lucrative returns, he orchestrated a multi-million-dollar scam built entirely on lies. His carefully constructed illusion made him appear successful, but when the truth came to light, his victims realized they had been misled. Once an aspiring actor, Avery became a master con artist, until his web of lies eventually unraveled, leading to his inevitable downfall. In reality, Zach Avery was running a Ponzi scheme, using funds from new investors to cover old debts while spinning an intricate web of lies and false promises. Eventually, his scheme collapsed, leading to a 20-year prison sentence and a staggering $230 million restitution order to his victims. His dramatic downfall sent shockwaves through Hollywood, serving as a cautionary tale about the devastating consequences of deception. Avery's story serves as a stark reminder that, in the relentless pursuit of success, integrity and ethics are the only true foundations that endure. Joe's son, best known for his minor role in the first Austin Powers film, became infamous not for his acting, but for the horrific crimes he committed, in one of the most horrifying downfalls in entertainment history. Joe Son's criminal history began with a disturbing crime in 1990 when he kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and threatened a woman's life on Christmas Eve. For years, he managed to evade justice, but DNA evidence, linked to a later felony vandalism conviction, eventually connected him to the crime. Despite briefly gaining fame, his violent and predatory behavior obliterated any chance of a legitimate career. After his conviction, he was sentenced to life in prison, where his past caught up with him in the harshest way, ultimately leading to his death behind bars. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the enduring consequences of such heinous acts, leaving deep scars on his victims and society. What might have been a forgotten name in Hollywood is now forever associated with one of the most horrific criminal downfalls. Jim Gordon, a highly respected drummer in the blues and rock world, earned recognition for his work with icons like Eric Clapton and Alice Cooper. However, beneath the fame and acclaim, he silently battled schizophrenia. Plagued by auditory hallucinations, including the constant voice of his mother, Gordon sought help but was tragically misdiagnosed with alcoholism. This misdiagnosis left his true condition untreated, allowing it to worsen. As his mental health deteriorated, the voices became overpowering, pushing him to commit an unthinkable act. In a moment of psychotic turmoil, he turned on his own mother, resulting in a heartbreaking and tragic outcome. His story stands as one of the most haunting examples of untreated mental illness in the music industry, serving as a powerful reminder of the devastating consequences of misdiagnosis and neglect. Arrested in 1983, Jim Gordon was eventually diagnosed with schizophrenia, revealing the depth of his suffering that had gone untreated for years. Initially sentenced to 16 years in prison, he remained incarcerated indefinitely due to the ongoing threat he posed to society. His tragic story highlights the complexities of mental illness and the devastating consequences of misdiagnosis and lack of proper treatment. While his musical contributions remain significant, Gordon's life serves as a stark reminder of the silent struggles many endure. His downfall underscores the urgent need for improved mental health awareness, support, and treatment, especially for those whose untreated conditions can lead to irreversible tragedy. In October 2009, former MMA fighter War Machine transitioned into the entertainment industry and began a relationship with adult film star Christy Mack. However, his violent tendencies quickly overshadowed his career. In 2010, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison for assault, marking the beginning of his downward spiral. After his release, War Machine learned that Mack had moved on with a new boyfriend, Corey Thomas. This discovery triggered a violent outburst on August 8, 2014. Overcome with jealousy and rage, he brutally attacked both Mack and Thomas, leaving Mack with severe injuries that shocked the public. The assault garnered widespread media attention and sparked vital discussions about domestic violence, transforming War Machine from a promising fighter into a chilling example of the catastrophic consequences of unchecked aggression. The jury found Jonathan Copenhaver, known as War Machine, guilty on multiple charges, including kidnapping, leading to a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 36 years. His dramatic fall, from a once promising MMA fighter to a convicted felon, serves as a sobering reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked violence. His actions inflicted lasting scars on his victims, turning his story into a cautionary tale about the dangers of toxic rage, abuse, and the irreversible harm caused by violent behavior. Thank you for watching today's video on celebrities who ended up behind bars. We hope these stories shed light on their downfalls and the choices that led them there. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our upcoming content. See you in the next one.